Hi friends, thanks for coming to our stream where we're gonna discuss whether Kyle should have to pay his old co-host any money. On one side we have ProLib and Nate the lawyer.
On the other side we have UNIRock and Kyle Curtis.
Make sure you subscribe to Progressive Liberal on YouTube. It's the channel you're watching right now.
Also subscribe to Nate the lawyer. Link shared in the chat and description.
Don't forget UNIRocktv and Rockalot on YouTube.
And Non-Sec too. Regardless of your opinion, we're happy you're here. So sit back and enjoy.
As four adults talk without yelling and calling names.
Even though they disagree.
Hey, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
We both did awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Want to start a podcast together?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay, let's go.
With Nate the lawyer. And ProLib. The infamous Kyle Curtis of non-sequitur fame. And your stream master general of the evening, UNIRocktv. With special appearances from Busy and Nate's Lamp. This is adults debating opinions they disagree with without yelling and screaming and calling names. Curtis joins us to discuss some new clips that have surfaced that completely vindicate him on the issue of the non sequitur show. Then we're going to talk about improper service and the controversy that's resulted on Twitter and other places. After that, we're going to talk to the live chat and turn off member-only mode and let anybody join in and talk and ask questions. So stick around if you don't have a membership here, but you want to ask questions or hang. Make sure you hit the like button, and we're going to get started. I'm about to bring Kyle in. I just want to say, I know I don't get to stream here that much anymore, but we're trying to change that now. Thank you for coming, and keep an eye out to see the adventures of Busy and Nate's Lamp as they start a podcast. Kyle, it's so good to have you, man. How have you been? I don't think we've seen you here since the GoFundMe, right? Or isn't that the last time we saw you? I think so.
Well, I was on here less than a week ago when you were playing Tarkov.
Oh, I think we were on Rockalot. Yeah, we were on Rockalot there.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, anyway. So, okay, here's what's up, Kyle. I kind of stole you and grabbed you over here because I wanted to show you these clips that I was showing on Rockalot last night and to talk about the service issue because it's really crazy. It's like there are this mass of people that grabbed all these examples in case law, examples from law firms, and it seemed pretty cut and dry, but there's another small group of people that keep going around spamming and arguing about what is proper service and what isn't, so I hoped we'd talk about that too. So if that's okay with you. Remember, anything you can't talk about, let me know ahead of time. I don't want to get you in trouble, so.
Totally fine with that. Like I said a couple Fridays ago, because people were so generous and supporting, me hiring an attorney, I feel that it's only right that I let people, know what's going on in the case. And where I can't, as it pertains to the case. I hope people will understand and, just hang tight that everything will come out. But I will talk about everything that I can. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think anybody will get mad if you have something you can't talk about. So the first clip we're going to look at, because I want to get to them pretty quick, so for people watching the playback, this is, I'm not sure what this is, so I'm just going to click it. The issue is, if you've got this pulled up, you'll be able to read the screen, but I'll tell you what it's saying anyway, so because you're not going to be able to hear it, though. We'll get through it. Here we go. Here's the first clip, and excuse me, stream, but I'll be pausing and explaining to Kyle what it's saying. Here we go.
Now, what I think needs to happen is that we need to negotiate a proper form of payment up until this point right here. And
okay, so this is Reds saying that you guys need to negotiate a proper form of payment up to right here, but then he says something a little funky, so here it is.
And then from there, work to make it 50% so that we can actually have equal everywhere.
Okay, then he says, after that, we need to make it 50%, and that way, blah, blah, blah. So I hope to get your reaction. These clips, now that people have gone back and watched them a little more, seem to indicate that there wasn't a 50-50 and that Steve and Reds were trying to talk you into a 50-50. How do you feel about that whole clip right there?
Well, I think it's my light was going to fall there. If you see a sudden crash, that's because I think my light's getting ready to go.
No, you're good. Nate's lamp's coming for you.
I think it goes to show the sort of dream world that they live in, where the moment that things don't go your way, or you are released from a company or an organization or whatever, you can then negotiate your contract. So in the real world, it works the opposite way. Before you start, you get everything that you want in writing, and that's your contract. But to come at me and say that, you're going to dictate the terms of how things are going to be after the fact, after, he is released from the show, I mean, it's ridiculous. And if anybody takes that seriously, that's their problem. But I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, this is one clip, and we've got so many of them where Red says he needs, we have a clip of before you ever came in where he says, Steve, we need to get him to sign a 50-50. We need a 50-50 with him, and it's just over and over with him. So it's pretty obvious. I've been making a case to what I'm calling the hostile takeover, because that's what they initially said you were doing, but now the evidence is showing with this next clip and the others that they were actually doing a hostile takeover on you. I'm about to play this, and I'll tell you what it says. Here it is.
Doesn't give me anywhere near what it's worth.
Right, but do you think that if he doesn't continue with this in perpetuity, is that considered to be stealing?
So Steve is hounding Bullinator. If it's not perpetuity, is it stealing? And then Bullinator comes in with a weird response.
Because I consider it stealing.
I would consider it.
Yeah.
He says I would consider it stealing.
Yeah, I would
be going to a lawyer tomorrow if I.
Then Bull says, I would be going to a lawyer tomorrow if I were you. And then Steve says,
well, no, I can't sue him because, I mean, it's a handshake. But, I mean,
I can't sue him because it's a handshake.
I trusted him.
I've trusted him. This was honor. This was honor. Why do you think you're being sued right now by that man when he did admit in the beginning he couldn't sue you because he doesn't have a contract? Why do you think that is? What do you think about that clip?
Well, I think that answers the question. What about Bull? What about Bull? He's an idiot.
Yep.
Stealing is a ridiculous accusation to make. With Steve saying that he can't sue me, we have a handshake agreement. There was no handshake agreement. There was no agreement, period. And obviously he went against that because he actually did wind up suing me. But as we'll see as the night goes on, it's morphed into some weird written handshake agreement, whatever that is. That's literally a phrase that he used. So in my defense, whenever this gets overturned and we go back to square one, I'm going to say that we had a written verbal contract that we didn't.
Yeah, I think that's pretty crazy. We have the next clip that is going to I feel almost bad for him to play these two clips back to back because yeah, for anyone that supports him. I know some aren't going to see this because, you know, with the internet, there are a lot of people, and a lot of people don't think about this on YouTube, that just don't watch every day. They might check in every week or two, and they'll support somebody just as much as anyone else, but they don't have time to be here like other people. So this clip goes against what he just said because he tells somebody that you guys had a written contract. And again, I did just play a clip where he states he doesn't have a contract. Take a listen. And of course, I'll read it out to you.
There's this narrative. You should have made a contract with Kyle.
Okay, so a supporter, a person who monetarily supports Steve, says there's a narrative that you should have made a contract with Kyle
before, and you didn't.
And you didn't.
So you're basically stupid.
Or
he's got a contract.
Now, Cheshire interjects and says he's got a contract though.
Yeah, I have more than people
think.
And then Steve says, yeah, I have more than people think. So again, I'll play that in a minute after Kyle gets a chance to respond so we can hear the whole thing without me breaking it up. He says, you're dumb for not having a contract with Kyle. This is your fault, essentially. Cheshire interrupts. He's got a contract though. And Steve says, yes, and I have more than people think. Why is he saying this when we have him saying the opposite not long before? What do you think?
Well, on this one, I'll be pretty blunt and honest with you. I think that the reason he said that on this one is because of Chesh's big mouth. I think in a lot of ways she said, "Well, he's got a contract," and to save face or to not seem like Cheshire doesn't know what she's talking about, he probably just quickly said yeah without thinking, because if you notice the caveat he puts at the end, I've got more than people think. He doesn't say yeah I have a contract or yeah that's right. He says yeah well I've got more than people think. So I don't think he really meant to say that he has a written contract, because we all know, Steve, if he had a written contract, everybody and their brother would have seen it by now.
Everybody and their mom.
Yeah, and my mom especially. She would have seen it before me.
Yeah, she would have got it mailed to her address. Actually. Yeah.
So I think it's his attempt to it was a quick response on his behalf, and he didn't want to seem like they were out of sync. But if he had a contract, we would have all seen it by now, and everybody knows that.
Yeah. It's kind of painful because a lot of people see him, and they did a long time ago, and I've said this a million times, and they feel kind of bad for him, and because he presents himself as the victim. He's got one lens, he's got duct tape on his thing here, and I know that he, like we said last time, I think we mentioned this, he's just doing this for that sympathy card, and he plays that. So when somebody doesn't know that that's what he's doing, purposely playing it, I do think it tugs at their heartstrings. And, obviously he doesn't want to sound like an idiot. You're an idiot because you didn't have a contract. That's the best thing that could have been said to him. If you'd cared about any of this, you would have sat down and got the contract. You can't blame Kyle. You can't blame anybody. This is you. Please stop doing this on the internet in front of everyone. And, I think that's a good point that the guy made.
But what's his end game ultimately? I mean, if you're going to go around and tell people that you have contract, eventually you're gonna have to produce that contract. He's setting himself up, unless he's gonna employ the likes of the people that produce the Leslie Bath's email from YouTube. Then I guess you can have a contract, sure.
Yeah, well, he did actually. If you recall, when I first created Rockalot, I found some of these clips thanks to Road User and others, and I played them, and I put out a challenge to McRae, and I was like, bro, you don't have a contract, and you've been lying to everybody. Look, and I played all these clips where he lies. He came back and did that stream where he pulls up his Google Hangout conversations with you that he said were emails, but they were just a Google Hangout, Google Messages. There was nothing in there where you guys even remotely talked about a 50-50, and he just screwed himself because people are going to read what's on the screen. They're not just going to listen to you lie. So I do think he did that. He, in response to me challenging him to show the contract that, did you misspeak in all these clips or did you misspeak in these clips? I think that's why he did that stream, and it really did disappoint everybody. They expected him to show one, and not because they rooted for him or they were against you, because we just wanted the truth. We just want to know what's going on and make the right decision and move on. And this constant, this constant push to be right, it just doesn't look good. It just really gets really stagnant.
I can fix that. I can fix that right now. I will be the first to say that if Steve McRae can produce a 50-50 partnership contract, I will bow down to that, and you won't hear another peep out of me about this whole contract thing. I am asking Steve to produce that. If he does that, then that's his ticket. That's his ticket out. He wins.
He
but I can say that because he can't do it, and he won't do it.
Very true, man. We've got some other clips, but we've also got some tweets because they reference this whole idea of service. We just got a whole bunch that we can hit. So anyway, let's see here. We've got 44. He tells Kyle it's not stealing, just doing a thing. Oh, okay. I do need to play this one. It's like 44. Okay, hold on. I got to get into the right thing. So let me move this all over.
Is this where I'm stealing from his daughter?
No. This is one where Reds has. I don't know. We might have already played it. I have no clue because we've been. I got.
Can I just address that really quick?
No, hit it all, dude. Get it all out. Yeah.
I just want to get this out of the way because this is something that has really pissed me off since way back when that sentence was uttered. I just like to say, Steve, I didn't steal money from your daughter. I gave you every opportunity, a couple times, to take the money, and you didn't. If let's say, and I don't know this for certain, but let's say you were up to something nefarious and trying to, not take the money for reasons so that you wouldn't have to, it wouldn't affect any other money that you had coming in.
Or going
one
out.
quick solution to that would have been to take it and give it directly to your daughter. But you didn't. So if anybody stole from your daughter, Steve, it's you, not me.
Ooh, that's a clip for the record. And it makes sense. I mean, it's like, this is why people say don't go around, one, don't go around saying all this stupid shit just to gain sympathy. But then two, if you do enter into a lawsuit, and you're going to get up on the internet and put all this stuff out, then, you gotta make sure your lawyers approved it or something. So, okay, we've got this one. Now, this is important hangout. Sorry about this. This is a pretty impactful video. It's 2 hours and 11 minutes. This is directly after the Death of Non Sequitur show. We've got a whole cast of characters. If you take this one out, this is the superhero. She's been dubbed as the superhero, Shannon Q. She has a YouTube channel, and if you're not watching her, you're missing out. So make sure you go subscribe to Shannon Q and Pelosia, her man. But if you take Shannon out of the mix, you've got Steve's propaganda squad, and it's ironic. It's crazy to me to see them all there. You want to say anything about that before we start talking? Like how he pulls them all in any time that he's doing something shady, never just hits it one-on-one, never just like talks to someone. It's always he's got the propaganda squad with him. You got anything on that, or you just want to, not
Yeah, that's because he's a spineless coward. I mean, he is so insecure that he has to have, even when he has discussions on his channel about things not on drama, when it's just like if it's a science hangout or whatever, you'll all the time hear him say, well, I know such and such who has a PhD in XYZ. He's constantly trying to justify his position, and if he's gonna argue a position, especially with something like with the Death of the Non Sequitur show, he's gonna make sure that there are as many people in there that agree with him as possible, because they'll take over when things get too heavy, just like Reds does. You see in these clips, that Reds pipes up every time things get a little bit too much heat for Steve. And that's just the way that he plays the game. He's a spineless coward.
And the thing about this, too, that I haven't mentioned up to now is that Bull showed Reds the financials, the analytics of Non Sequitur very shortly before Reds and Steve cooked up this entire thing where, you know, a lot of people, it's been so long, they don't remember that they kept forcing you into the conversation, the Death of Non Sequitur show. You were telling them, look, I'm dealing with medical problems. I don't want to sit down and talk to you guys. If you don't like what's going on, then go do your own thing. And they really did everything they could to pull you into that conversation. And I think it's directly related to Red's rhetoric, seeing how much money a couple shows of Non Sequitur made. Though, what do you think? Because it'd be good to get your perspective.
That's why I always roll my eyes when people, used to say, what about Bull? Number one, Bull was compensated per our agreement. I've showed the receipts for that. And number two, the reason that Bull was removed at the same time that Steve was because I found out that Dave, without my permission, had shown Reds, part of the financials from the YouTube end. And that wasn't his to do. He didn't have, I gave Dave admin access because he needed it for, things that we did with the show. And I trusted him more than that. And he just proved himself to be a shitty human being when he did that. Dave is in that sense was just as bad as Steve was, going behind someone's back and granting other people access that had no business dealing with it. Like, Reds should shut his fucking mouth. He has nothing to do with the Non Sequitur show. I don't know why he constantly tries to interject himself. Nobody listens to him. I'm certainly not swayed by him. I'm not intimidated by him. So he's just running his mouth for no reason. But Dave did that, and so I kicked him and Steve out that same night, and for those two reasons. So this pity party for Dave, I think, is a hilarious ruse that just distracts from the main points of the story as a whole.
I agree, and he's Bull has shown himself to be just as spineless as Steve also since then, in the way he will argue and go and troll for Steve. It's all about making Steve right, even when he's worthy of a restraining order. It's kind of crazy. But what you said about Reds is pretty indicative that there's now discussions going on where people wonder, as they're watching these old clips and kind of pondering what happened, if Reds wasn't pushing Steve. Because you've heard about the issue with Reds and his GoFundMe or his fundraisers in the community, and this is being discussed from the very bottom of the communities up into the very bigger creators of the community. And they've done a lot of lies, a lot of false information when they've asked for as much as $10,000, $6,000, $12,000 and actually received it from the community. So it does kind of go in line. You've got them running these perpetual every 3 weeks to 2 months GoFundMe fundraiser kind of scams. And then you've got them, Red seeing the money that's made here and trying to take the show. It's almost like if he got Steve getting 50% of that money, it's almost like Reds was going to get a portion of it the way he fought for it. But I don't know what to say. It's crazy.
Well, I have quite a bit to say on that. I number one, let's take Sean Hufford, for example, who has, here lately, for some reason, thinks that he is the moral authority on the case of the Non Sequitur show and my character. I think he has a lot more important things to worry about. Number one, like that, whatever that hair color is he's got going on. Number two, the fact that he came to a community and got upwards of $10,000 from them in one GoFundMe, then turned around and claimed that it was stolen from him out of his bank account and asked for another one without producing a police report, without showing proof that it was stolen, without even so much as making an attempt to prove that this money was taken out of his account. So I find it hilarious that he has the balls to say something about a case that I'm involved in when he's up to his fucking eyeballs in shady bullshit that I think we all know isn't the way that he's putting it out there. So what I would be asking Sean Hufford is proof for where that money went to, and yet nobody's asking that. He got another GoFundMe done, and they're still doing it to this day. So I think that he needs to shut his mouth before he talks about character.
It's really crazy. You'd think that when these guys are lying after taking $10,000 and blowing it in under like 5 or 6 weeks, then going live again and taking $6,000 plus more dollars, claiming that the original $10,000 was stolen out of a bank account, for God's sake, you'd think they might not sit and try to, run around playing that moral authority that they have, but they do, and you are the target. And one thing that I think is just excellent is the fact that you are willing to step up now and actually speak out, because Kyle, it's hard to get a single creator that is around those guys or in that community at all to even say a word. They act like that by Sean taking $16,000 in under 2 months, that it doesn't affect the other channels in the community. It doesn't affect the other people there, and that it doesn't turn people away from the community. And I don't see how if maybe he only got a couple grand, maybe, but we're talking enough money that some people make in an entire year from a part-time job. So, this is crazy. This is like, if you heard about a flat earther doing it, it would have been on every single debunking channel. But because it's Sean Hufford, and because he hangs out with Reds, and because Reds is Steve's prime simp, we don't hear a word. And I think that it's pretty crazy, man, still to this day.
Well, that's what happens when you build you're like, when you're talking about the people around them, their channel is built primarily on a crossover subs between, Steve, Reds, that sort of thing. They all share a certain base, and anytime that there is controversy, one of two things will happen. You'll either hear somebody come out in a staunch defense for that person, like, no, this isn't true, blah blah blah, or silence. And to me, I think the silence speaks a lot louder than the defense of the person, because that just goes to show you that where their true aim is, and that is keeping their subscriber base. Is it worth them saying something and rocking the boat? And like in my case, when I did that with Steve, and the entire channel imploding, and for me it was I didn't want to go through a show and fake it, or try to hold on to something, or a collaboration with Steve just for the numbers. For me, it wasn't worth it. For Steve, the numbers are everything. And that's what a lot of aspects of this case are about. I don't think it's so much about the money, but I think it's more so about getting a channel with almost 30,000 subscribers. He needs that validation, but at what cost? And for me, it's just not worth it if you have to sacrifice who you are and what you think is right for keeping the peace and a large number of subscribers.
Yeah, I do think that eventually we will see maybe some of the creators in the community, once they get, what I notice is that this video that I have on the screen, Reds has unlisted it out. The other videos that contain GoFundMes or fundraisers, they get unlisted or privated or just straight deleted from the platform, to the point where there are people that have been making channels to put these up. And I do think that eventually, now that the information is getting out there and discussed, that maybe finally people will discuss it, because really it's not about canceling those guys. It's just about letting them know that they don't even have a right to criticize a flat earther at this point. What does a flat earther do other than convince themselves of a silly worldview? They still live their day to day doing what they do. Yeah, some of them run scummy GoFundMes, but what are we talking about here when we're talking about just really one fundraiser, because like I said, they claimed the original money was stolen and used that GoFundMe again. So they redid it in a way. But in just a month and a half, we're talking upwards of $20,000 easy. And it seems crazy. It seems extreme.
I used to do them all to a level that is, just uncomfortable. I remember getting asked all the time during the Non Sequitur show to plug various GoFundMe campaigns, and I think we did one or two, but not to the near level that they were asking. And I think one thing that people, whether you like me or not, if you go back and you watch the Non Sequitur show, we never asked for any sort of donations, or we did a thing for our patrons one time where we did like a t-shirt drive, but in terms of like, we didn't even tell people to the super chat. I never
You're crazy.
For me, this is the way that I looked at it, and I wanted to run a channel the way that I watch YouTube videos, and to me it just seems like in every video there's a window of time where people are just telling you to subscribe, telling you where to go donate and that sort of thing. And for me, I looked at it where I know that I can do that. I know I'm not stupid. I know that I can hit the subscribe button, and I know that I can hit the super chat button. And if people want to do that, they're going to do it. But I didn't never want to make people feel like
obliged.
that was the focus of it. So you can go back and watch old Non Sequitur videos. You won't find that. In fact, our slogan was, never follow. I joked all the time, don't follow us, don't subscribe us, because it'll raise your blood pressure. And so like
I always thought that
I was never
funny.
comfortable.
Never follow. It was awesome. Sorry.
I was never comfortable with the amount of opportunities that they would take to create, and for very odd reasons. Like somebody's car got messed up, not Reds, that was a different incident. But there was just all of these instances where it's like, the community shouldn't have to feel like they should fork out for that. Now if they do, that's up to them. But to do one of these like every other week, it was just very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I could feel you, because there's nothing wrong with the GoFundMe. There's nothing wrong with the fundraiser or helping someone out, but it's just the fact that it's the same people all the time. You can't even look at it as charity at that point. It was a money-making situation. It became a way for them to get money from their followers. It wasn't about some type of emergency or charity when it would happen every month. But okay, let's get
blatant
this going.
lies too. Just real quick,
ahead.
they were blatant lies. Like the bank account thing, that was a blatant lie. Him moving to Florida to get a job, that
with
never
Reds.
that never panned out. So like, what are their explanations when this doesn't happen? One thing that like here recently that really pissed me off was, I myself did a GoFundMe, and trust me, it was the last thing in the world that I wanted to do.
Well, I forced you, kinda. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, you were you kind of forced me into it, but it was not something that I wanted to do or something that I went and did gleefully. It was a lot to ask that, and the last thing in the world that I would ever do is make people that donated feel like I wasn't being transparent or forthright with what they paid their money to. And the other person who ran a GoFundMe at the same time that mine was going on was holding out on a thank you. I'll get to the thank you eventually. And then when you wanted proof of what he was going to spend the money on, you had to ask him privately
in the DMs. And there you had to also prove that you donated. I'm still bothered by that.
Such a shitty thing to do to people who are willing to, especially in this economy with the things that are going on, and how hard times are now. Like, you should at every opportunity be making it so easy and transparent for people. And thank you. Like, that's the least you can do. Is like, I personally thanked every person that donated. Each person that sent in a donation, I went through one by one and thanked them for their donation. Not a group thank you, but a personal thank you to each person. And he's going to tell people that eventually he'll get to a thank you in a stream at some point. Get the fuck out of here.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I think that these things are relevant. They go to show it's because you're actively being character assassinated every day by this same group. They get challenged. Of course, I'll bring it up. You can hate me, but they get challenged to a debate. They get challenged, you know, to put what do we got to do to put this issue to rest? You know, do we want to put all your dirty laundry up? Them, and then, you know, you guys can sit over there and put his dirty laundry up, and then we'll do it in a debate or something. What's got to happen? There is no solution, because this has been a way to get subs and money. So, though this next clip is relevant, I don't know if I remember what is. Oh, this, I think this is let's just play it, because I think I know what this is, but I'll translate it for you. Here we go.
Since April. What is this? May, June? 2 months.
Okay.
I have nothing on it.
Yeah.
So if he sends you the financials to
Okay, this is Shannon Q, the superhero, literally, for doing this. She's just like went into the lion's den here. And she's saying, if we got you the financials tomorrow,
along with the money,
along
that
with the
was
money. Now, Steve interjects.
part of that argument.
Hang on. Let me get something else, Steve.
Now, Red says, let me get something else here, Steve. Now, he's about to say 3 things that I think are very relevant.
Steve is asking for 3 things, actually. 1, he wants a transcript of the financials from everywhere.
He wants his financials, which we don't need to say it, do we? He had access to them just like Bull did. Bull showing
That's what I was getting
Reds.
ready to say.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy when he says, I want the financials. I'm not your fucking mom, Steve. You, as an adult, have the freedom to click, just like you had the freedom to run your mouth with your stupid comments from the Non Sequitur Show page on every other person in YouTube's video. You have the freedom to take a break from that and to click financials in
Analytics.
YouTube. I'm not your mom. I shouldn't have to remind you that you have the ability to do that. You should know that. So the fact that you didn't click in that year and 8 months that you had that access isn't my fucking problem. So you whining about it is just too bad. You had every opportunity except for a week of the months that you had access to do that, to view them. And if you didn't, not my fucking problem.
And doesn't that kind of say that there is no... Well, you've just heard a clip where Red says there needs to be a 50-50. So that kind of says everything about the 50-50. Needing to be can't be. But doesn't him not looking at these how in the hell is he a partner? And wouldn't he need to look at the financials to handle taxes, to handle paying for something, to handle... how does he know what if you guys are 50-50... and you decide that you need something for the show, how does he even know if you're making a good financial decision without looking there if he's a 50-50? Because any 50-50 would have. They wouldn't just say, go ahead, my guy. I'm not going to look at anything you can buy. You could spend $10,000. I don't need to look, you know? I think it's good evidence to show that there wasn't a 50-50. I'm rambling. Go ahead.
all those are good questions. And questions that I wish people on Steve's side would pose to him to see if he would answer. I mean, what kind of partner who had a vested interest in a show would go nearly 2 years without ever looking at the show's financials, how it was doing, what the if it was profitable, any of that sort of thing. He never did that. And the fact that he doesn't have a clue as to, what the financials actually were, what that looked like, and then wants to, after it's, he's kicked off, wants to try to raise a fuss about it, I think is laughable. If you're really a partner, number one, partners usually sort of share the burden of the business. They put equal parts in there in terms of the sweat equity and all that sort of thing. Steve just showed up at 9 o'clock every night to run his mouth. There was no setup. There was no, none of that other stuff that goes along with it. And even on his side, he wasn't even keeping up in terms of the financials for himself. So either there was no 50-50 partnership, or he literally is the worst partner anyone could ever ask for, and including himself.
Oh God, dude. Yeah, that's a great point. But then he says this. Let me read it. Let me translate it. Red says, now remember, this is Red's talking, but Steve agrees to all of it. But this is point 2.
He is going to be wanting a payout, most definitely. And 3,
he is going to want a payout, most definitely. And 3, here's my issue with this number 2. You've had, how many times, and I know this is a little redundant, but these clips do go to show the hostile takeover that they were perpetrating, and it does go to show the lies that they told going forward. How in the hell does he not take the money, but the minute that this happens, it's just pay me now? I don't, it seems so...
Well, because he saw an opportunity, to spin a narrative. I mean, think about it. You're the guy. Nobody likes to be the guy that gets, kicked off of something, whether it be, a sports team, a club, anything, fantasy football, anything that you do online. Nobody wants to be the person that's kicked off. And then, at that time, I empathize with that. I was like, I know that sucks, but it just wasn't working anymore. And so he saw that as an opportunity to play the victim, and it was set up in such a way that it was such a baffling issue anyway. There's so many different aspects to this case that he was like, okay, I see now, I didn't actually ever get paid from the show. And that's a true statement. When he says that, that's a true statement. When Steve says, I didn't get paid from the Non Sequitur show, is true. And so that statement on its own, people see that and they're like, wait a minute, he just got kicked off the show and he didn't get paid anything for the time he was on there. So there's an understandable anger there towards me in that scenario, because it looks like exactly. It looks like I kicked Steve off and didn't give him any of his money. But when you peel back the layers, you realize that there was a legitimate reason for Steve getting kicked off. I did everything that I could up until that point to not get to that point. And I did offer Steve his money several times. And even after we split and the Death of Non Sequitur show video was recorded, I said that I will give you 50% of the videos that you were in. At that point, I was absolutely still willing to do that. I didn't want to screw Steve over. I had no intention of screwing Steve over.
Well, you didn't screw him over, but go ahead.
I don't think I did either. It was only until he went on a campaign of burning the channel to the ground, harassing people. The only thing they were guilty of was being friends with
supporting you. Yeah.
They harassing those people, and just the vitriolic way that he turned after that, I got to the point where it was like, no, fuck that. If you're gonna take this to court, we're gonna have a judge decide how much, if I owe you anything, and on the reverse side, if you don't owe me anything, when it's all said and done. So there was an opportunity for us to still settle this civilly. He, said, fuck that. I'm gonna go on my little bitch fit and terrorize the internet, and that's what he did, and so he's reaping those benefits now.
I'm a ding dong. You're right. You were on the show about a week ago. I completely freaking just remembered. Sorry, I get busy. Yeah, I get busy around here.
But it was
Shut
late
up,
though,
busy.
and
sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
It was super late, and you were playing Tarkov at the time.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, though. Now, we've got the last part of the clip that, and I am going to get to all your super chats. I will read them twice because I love you. I appreciate it. I just want to get these clips out for the replay viewers, but we have this last part, which I think is very, it explains, it needs a reaction. Here we go.
He's wanting this relationship with him being a core part of the Non Sequitur to continue on into the future.
He wants this relationship of him. Now, I think this is very deliberate. He wants the third point he wants this relationship of him, Steve, being a core part of the non sequitur to continue
Those
forward.
three things.
Those three things. Now, I think Reds is being deceitful here. He's playing that game. He wants to make sure that he doesn't come out and draw attention to the fact, like, really, it would have just, I just wish Shannon would have stomped in, because I know she didn't know. I think that, like, one thing that's very clear here is that the group of people that were on your side probably witnessed a lot behind the scenes before this all happened. And they probably didn't have all the details because they were being polite. They weren't going to press you and say, you know, what's really going on with all your financials and stuff, Kyle. So they only had the little information they witnessed, but I think it's deliberate. He's saying, also, Steve has to say on the show. They wanted to force it from you, and in order to do that, they had to make it a 50-50. If they would have admitted that there wasn't a 50-50, which, you know, he slipped up and admitted many times in the last video, Reds did, then how do they sit and say that you have to keep him on the show? So anyway, I think that's a relevant observation.
Here's a question. Well, if it's a 50-50, how come they're putting it in a way where they're trying to convince me?
Yeah.
The way that this works, and again, people know Steve's personality and, you know, how headstrong he is. If you look at the months leading up to this event, since January of that year, there had been a trend going on where Steve was appearing on less and less shows. Started out with, we were on 7 days a week, then Steve was on 5, then Steve was on 4, and then Steve was on 3 to 2, depending on the week. This is where the other co-hosts started to come in. What I was doing was cycling in those guys, not only to give the show some variety, but also to give an opportunity that guests who didn't want to come on with Steve had days they could choose from, and they wouldn't have to, you know, not come on the show. They could come on shows that Steve wasn't on. So if Steve was a 50-50 partnership, and we know Steve wouldn't voluntarily do that, he wouldn't say, okay, I'm going to step aside while these other people come in. How is it that happened? How is it that for almost 6 months, Steve's time on the show dwindled down and more people came in to take those days, and he never said a word? There's only one reason why that is, and that is because it was my decision on who was on what days. And if Steve had a 50-50 claim to the Non Sequitur show, there would have been a huge debacle over that. You know,
yes,
that would have been the thing that ruined the Non Sequitur show. But instead, didn't say a word, went right along with it. We did the shows that he was on just like normal. There was no peep. It was only when he got completely cut out that he started to raise this 50-50 bullshit. And the actions of everybody just doesn't speak to that.
You're right. And I do think that all needs to be considered, because one thing that's changed since the date that this aired is that these guys have shown all of us that they are willing to lie, obfuscate, and change what happened in the past, or not mention key elements of a story or something. The people on this screen, save for Shannon Q, are all willing to say whatever they have to appease the dude on the far left there. And if that's the case, you can't trust what comes out of their mouth. You got to go back and look at what happened, and then, you know, and anyway, you have to do that in every story anyway, but at least people, when they think somebody is trustable, will give them the smallest credence, and that can't happen now. These guys lie so much. God knows what you said here or there. Like, we've already played several lies that have come out of their mouth in the time since these all things were said. Now, we've got a few more clips, but we're getting some super chats coming in. So let's go ahead really quick and hit them, and we'll just try to quick fire through. So Strawberry, Jules, Johnny, Strawberry again. Oh, you upgraded your membership. Thank you. And Therese, thank you. Without a crystal ball, Katie Joy Paulson gave us a super chat. I'd like to add a mascot, Kyle's hair. Also, here is your rent money. Thanks for all that payroll work. Thanks, boss.
By the way,
appreciate it. Go ahead.
By the way, getting shouted out from Keemstar. How about that?
Oh, man. Yeah. Katie is just, she is on fire. Her content is just lit up, and the bigger YouTubers, like solidified YouTubers, are shouting her out.
Well, let me just say how I just wanted to take a second to say how absolutely proud of her I am. And, I remember when we had our first stream together on YouTube, we were talking about Jilly Juice, and it's just really cool to see how she has grown into her own and found her own voice. And when people, came for her for something that she didn't do, she didn't cower, she didn't back down. She stood up and she shut them the fuck up. And now she's got over 100,000 subscribers, and people with millions of subscribers shouting her out. And I think that is awesome, and I couldn't be more proud of what she has done, and the way that she stood up to the garbage humans out there.
Oh my God, like there's nothing like it, man. Like her story is gonna be like, I don't think it's gonna stop anytime soon. Her channel and what she's doing, and her story is just it's insane. It's definitely a mark in the YouTube landscape. So we got Globus Shillis. Kyle, you better make them eat crow. Old crow. Oh yeah, Globus, definitely, dude. The title of the stream wins the internet. Plenty of silverfish. Yeah. If you didn't see the thumbnail, Busy for some reason thinks he's gonna find, he's gonna fall in love and get married and have little biscuits with his girlfriend. He's trying to meet her on. If you guys want to date Busy, it's plentyofsilverfish.com. That's the website he's using. Flying Monkey, the only one who stole money from Steve's daughter is Steve in purpletuity. Oh God, that stings. Lisa, hey Uni, is there still a wait list for Discord? We have and we now have another Discord that we're using to get people in, so join it, and then we're gonna get people in through there. So we are working it. We definitely are. Katie then comes in with another super chat. Man, I am on her payroll, Kyle. Wow. She says, I get accused of begging for super chats, doing things for views, yet videos done about me get views. So aren't they doing the same thing? Glad my name gets them the AdSense. Oh, man, Katie, well, straight up. Go ahead, man.
Thing is, too, like, of course people on YouTube are interested in views. Like, that's a really stupid thing to say, to say that, I'm not in this for the views. Of course you are. That's why you do YouTube. Just the same as a comedian, tells jokes for laughs. It would be really weird for a comedian to get on stage and say, well, I'm not doing it for the laughs.
Yeah.
Of course you are. But you hope that, those people are also bringing a message and, something that they're passionate about behind it. But of course people are in it for the views. That's the way that it works. You want people to watch your message and for people to resonate with it.
I can't read this next one, August. I can't. Oh, my God.
Why?
Kyle, blink once if it was medical. Kyle, blink twice if it was medical, once if it was support. Child support, she's saying.
I already did if you were paying attention.
Kyle's on point. McRancid only cares about the numbers, not the cash. But after all the drama chasing, lies, and harassment, he isn't going to have the numbers or the money. I'm sure the majority, and Cassie, thank you. You never have to split your super chats. If you ever want to say more than you can fit on super chat, just tell me, and then I'll have you type it to me, and you don't have to pay twice. But then Cassie says, I'm sure the majority of the 30K subs of unsubbed NSS fans aren't interested in his pettiness and 62 IQ's pettiness. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to, there was a question in the chat, if I could address it before it goes away. Crystal K says, Kyle, you were doing a lot of work on each show outside of hosting. Why were you offering him 50% of shows that Steve hosted when there are expenses that should have been paid first?
For one simple reason. Right? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Huh?
I was saying you do like I've always taken it that you mean you're going to pay like the taxes and take the percentage out for the show, then give 50 to each of you. That's how I always took it. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to give him, whatever the ad revenue was, half of it on the videos that he was in up until that point for a very, very specific reason. Contrary to what some people may feel about me, I try not to be a dickhead in my day-to-day life. I do think that it's important that you try to do good by people when you can. And I felt bad for Steve that he was the person that was, getting cut out of this. I didn't, it was a decision that I had to make, but I didn't feel good about it. Would I make the same decision again? Absolutely. But there was empathy there. I wanted Steve to feel like, he didn't get ultimately screwed, even though, I would think that he was wrong in feeling that way. But that was the reason why I wanted to sort of, ease that blow of him getting kicked off the show. Now, again, that went out the window when he started his, burning the channel to the ground and harassing other people. At that point, it's like, well, I was trying to do something, nice for you, but not now. That just threw that out the window. But that's why I wanted to, I wanted to not be a dick.
I use the analogy, and I'll do the really, really short version, that if you work for a store and you're selling hardware and you tell them to hold your paycheck for a month, when you go to pick up the paycheck, if you smash all the windows out of the store with a hammer that you grab from the store and break all the goods, they're not going to hand you your check for that whole month. They're going to go around and deduct all the damage you did and the cleaning fees and everything. Then they're going to hand you your paycheck if there's any money left at all. You can't attack a business and expect the business not to charge you for that. Even people that, let's say, mow yards. I swear to God, deja vu. I said this last time. If they have a weed whacker and they slam it up against a tree and mess it up, it's going to be coming out of their paycheck on Friday. And he did the same thing. He really did. And lie to everybody, and then he didn't just present his opinion. He told everybody it was a certain way in order to damage the show, to punish you for kicking him off, and it's just more than obvious now.
Well, that goes to two things really quick. That goes to ask the question, if he was a partner and he considered himself such, what kind of partner actively tries to destroy your business?
Yeah.
If he felt this was 50% his, what motive would he have to, instruct everybody to unsub?
That's such a good point.
For the patrons to leave. No partner would do that. He would still have a vested interest in trying to keep the channel, to some degree of normalcy. And then, we battle out for where it goes from there, but no partner's going to really do that. And another thing, people in the chat, if you're asking me a question, Uni, I don't know if you can make me a member, but I can't.
Oh, I can make you a moderator. Respond. Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah. Which account are you on? I thought you already were, but I'll just check it again.
I'm on the Kyle Curtis with the astronaut.
Just do me a solid. Log into that and grab the link to it. Throw it in the current live stream room. I'll go there right now and member you. Or I'll promote you to moderator. And while you're doing that...
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't want people to think that I was ignoring them.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to turn off member chat in just a little bit once we get all this stuff done, and we'll let you guys ask questions without member chat on. Also, if we don't get to turn off member chat for this stream, if it runs, he's got to go. We're going to go to the Rockalot after this, and you're more than welcome to come there with an open chat and talk and ask questions, whatever you want. Either way, I am required to do member-only streams. Sorry for all the people out there, all the channels that want to complain about it. You would turn on your membership too, so I don't want to hear it. It's just the truth. Anyway, we've got another cartoon to play. So while you log... Okay, we've got that. While I get that set up, we've got... well, let's let me make sure this clip's done.
Has to do other channels to make the fucking money.
Yeah, here we go. Now, let me go ahead and just take care of all this at once. I've got one more... Damn, that's some good music. Dude, I need to use your music because you've got some great music over there, dude. Straight up. Can you still hear me okay, Kyle? Everything good there? Yeah. Okay, yep, you can.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, All right, I got your link. I am memorizing you right now. And while I memorize Kyle, I'm going to mute you for just a minute, Kyle, because I'm going to play a video. Just play a little cartoon here. And then we'll get back into just a little more with Kyle Curtis updating us on all things current non sequitur from the GoFundMe on Rose. I will read that. Thank you. You are too kind. In just a moment, I will read that. Kyle Curtis is with us. This is, of course, UNIRock Live, hosted on UNIRocktv, where we bring our prepared or, important streams and our more open streams, our more, how do you say it? Our more longer kind of chill streams happen on a YouTube channel called Rockalot. It's a parking lot. Head over there sometime and say hi. But here we go.
So, tell me, Nate Slamp, how did you get started on YouTube?
Well, I wanted to stream, and I knew a lot about astrophysics and biology and math and calculus, and I went to nuke school and other things and just streamed and had a good time. Tell me a little about yourself.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm a crackhead from 5th Street, where I like to get in slap fights with ladies of the night and hang out and have a good time and smoke a lot of crack. And, it's really fun, and it's my history, right? Definitely.
Well, tell me, what would you like to do with our channel as our podcast moves on?
Oh, well, I want to get a hold of Kent Hovind. I'd love to debate the guy. God, he's worse than me after a night on partying with fighting over underwear with donuts on it with the hookers.
I'd like to get Aaron Raw. I've heard good things about him debating flatties.
Oh, it'd be excellent. I'm so down with that. We're going to have such a good podcast. I can't wait until we're rich and famous and we blow up, and then I can actually have lots of money in purpletuity. It'll be excellent.
Oh, I so much agree with you. We're going to be famous, big YouTubers, 1 million subscribers. The great simp bait community is going to be well known from here to back to Australia. Everybody will know about it. It's going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful. Hey, will you hand me that crack pipe, please? So, tell me.
That is the end to part 2 of Busy and Nate's Lamps podcast adventures. Next up, Uni and Kyle. All right, you should be, if you want to try it out in the chat, you should have a wrench now, Kyle. You should be good to go.
Oh, I am good to go.
All right, good. So, next up, we've got the issue. We've got a couple other clips to hit, and they're just not as, I wouldn't say they're not as important. I would just say those are the main clips that I have for tonight. Let me get a good song going. There it is. Oh yeah. So the next issue on our stream here should, in my opinion, be the contention on Twitter and the public argument over proper service. So I will pose my opinion really quick. If I go to North Carolina law firms and I look up and menace number 2 sobriety, mods, do me a favor. If I bring up, when I name a channel, if you guys don't mind sharing that channel's link so that people can find their channel. Menace to Sobriety has been doing great videos around this issue. And Nate, the lawyer, has also. And they've shown that these law firms will tell you have to basically be handed the envelope, is the best thing I can say. Now, I could go pull it up and I could look at it. I've done that on Rockalot. Menace has done it. Nate has done it. This is the problem. Everybody out there looks at what these law firms say, and they look at the other cases, because the last filing of the non sequitur case showed 13 examples of case law where even if they served your home or like somewhere you were living, if they didn't give, there were some of the ones where they cited how if it wasn't put into the hand of the person that could, stop the lawsuit or not give them proper service. But there were so many examples that make it so clear. And then we've got on Twitter, Steve and then other people arguing that everybody's lying, everybody's wrong, and that it's okay to serve somebody at an old address. What do you want to say about this mess? Because the last filing from your attorney was the most professional, and it's almost, anybody that donated to Kyle, if you want to go to Nate's video on the service right here, the Empire Strikes Back stream, and see how just professional this was. What do you got to say to all this, Kyle?
Number one, I could not be more, thankful and proud of my attorney. She is a rock star. I think if you lay out, just to sort of give people an overview of her credentials, she graduated from Campbell University of Law. She was the editor-in-chief of the Law Review there at that university, which is a huge. She also was in she's in the Court of Admissions, the Eastern District, Middle District, Western, the Fourth Circuit, Court of Appeals, and she's done cases for the United States Supreme Court. So the highest court in the land, she's been a part of. She's she's the research editor for the Antitrust Law Journal. She's on the North Carolina Association of Defense Attorneys, vice chair for the Product Liability Group. She's on the Appellate Rules Committee, and she's been on that from 2014 to present. So she actually is involved in shaping the laws that the state runs by. She's an appellate practice section counsel, the Young Lawyers Division liaison, and an antitrust and complex business disputes law section member. She is as accredited as you can be, and she is doing a fantastic job on this case. I will take what she says, her advice, and her method of going forward over the guy that lives in his closet and argues over whether or not atheists are rocks.
Oh God, dude. Oh man,
that's my statement.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing. I think that I've been trying to make points instead of sitting here and just screaming into the wind. I've been trying to get people to pay attention to what it does to the community when people don't fully explain their side, but instead say, trust me. And it just happened again. We were told that, hey, once I get a ruling, I'll show you all my evidence. And I'm not showing any evidence until after I get a ruling. And in my opinion, that's what causes a lot of people to argue. Rose says, I've been watching this unfold for months. Tonight's stream certainly showed me the other side has some explaining to do. Is there really a contract or not? Looking like there is not. Kyle is handling this with grace. Rose, thank you. And I want to say this too, and hopefully, Kyle, you can weigh in a little. I know that the other side in this is what I'll say. They want to convince you that we just don't care about the community. We're just trying to wreak havoc, and we do like to have fun. We like to joke. The only way I can handle him attacking me daily is just to joke about it and just let it slide off my back. But the thing is, this isn't fair to the community. It isn't fair to shut Kyle up and just say don't listen to him. And I don't know if he didn't expect this from me or not, to actually sit down and talk to Kyle or sit down and talk to Katie when he asked me to cover these different stories. Of course, I'd already done a video on non-sec when he approached me and asked me to do more non-sec videos, but still, it does hurt the community when these things happen. And hopefully you guys can just look at what's there. Don't care what we say, just look at what we've shown you. If you look at the beginning of this stream, I think those clips say so much. I'll stop. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Go if you want to say anything, you're more than welcome to.
Not at all. And since the beginning, I've never asked anyone to take a side. I've never asked anyone to, that they shouldn't go out and try to, find information for themselves. I've never shied away from questions. I've gone on many streams that aren't that were at the time on Steve's side, and was grilled for hours on end, and I've never shied away from those questions. But I've never also told people that if they don't agree with me, or if they agree with Steve in any way, that they were wrong and trolls and block them. But Nate Brody, we talk about him a lot. There are different aspects of the case that he doesn't agree with me on. We have a perfectly fine relationship. I get along with Nate. I think he's very knowledgeable. I think, from his perception, it's different because, I'm living it, and obviously I think that I'm right. But from his perspective, that looks a lot different. And, I don't think Nate's being a troll, or anybody else that may disagree with me. But ProLib is another person. He disagrees on certain aspects, and we stream together each week. I think you can look at each one of these sides, and there's one side that won't come outside of their bubble. They won't address any of those questions that we have. They won't answer them. They won't go anywhere to have a discussion about it where they can't control the narrative. Anybody that disagrees with them, they're immediately blocked and deemed trolls. Uni was the best thing in the world. He was good at getting to the truth of the matter. He was very good at doing investigative pieces. These were all comments made by Steve McRae until one point, and that point was when Uni had a criticism, and it wasn't even a criticism. Uni was joking about it in the title, but that alone, now Uni is so dumb he can't even tie his shoes. So
Memories.
how do you go from applauding somebody for being so good at what they do one moment, but the moment that they start to disagree with you or ask you questions, immediately they're too stupid, you're not even going to deal with them, and you're moving on. That goes to show, I think, everything that you need to see in this case. He is unwilling to, at every turn, have a conversation about things. It's his way or no way. And I think when you have that sort of attitude, that shows you everything that you need to know about, who's being honest and who isn't.
Very true, my dude. Very true. Trio comes in with your lawyer laid out and perfectly executed the motion. It makes me think Steve writes his own affidavits. Your lawyer's awesome. Gabriel slides in. I did think Kyle was the villain. How times change. I know, man. I know. This is a learning experience for everybody that even witnessed this. I think it's why it still holds attention. And Gabriel says, trust in me, Ka. Love the super chats, Gabriel. On my screen, we have recent tweets. I believe they're from today even, and it does. I'm not going to bring up the drama because there's one side doing the drama here. I know that they'll argue that it's us, but you can just go look and see. I made a joke today, and it caused an explosion and a literal tweet assault at me for hours. Though, other people have been weighing in, like this person on Twitter, and this is the response, and I just want to get what Kyle's response is to it before we play a couple more clips. Kyle, if I'm keeping you, make sure you let me know, okay? Because I don't want to, I know you got a life and everything, too.
No.
Okay.
Oh, you're fine.
All right, so here we go. Retweeting it through Menace because Steve refuses to believe anything that Nate Brody says. This and Steve admitting that he can't sue because it was just a handshake equals, at a minimum, Steve needs to provide his secret evidence to the judge. And then he comes in to add, thanks for the extra information on your stance. I've only seen you claiming it is his home, while Kyle has provided documents to prove that he had moved. Using my experience with an improper service issue, I would suggest focusing more on the place of business aspect of service. And Steve says, what makes you think him moving is of relevance? Serving at last known address is established in North Carolina as due diligence. There's that due diligence again. In process serving. My issue is that every resource we've looked at, including many examples of case law, do not state that you can serve somebody's old address for any reason. Why does he keep doing this, Kyle?
Because he knows he's fucked. In what world does the statement, because he moved, is that relevant, make sense? Yeah. That's the entire point. You complete and utter moron. Me moving is the entire thing that hinges this case, you have on many occasions stated that you knew it was an old address that you served. We have it on three different streams. It's transcribed. That's gonna be played in court, and you cannot say under no circumstances that serving the old address into an individual that currently lives there, signing for it, but it's not me, counts as proper service. It is a complete and utter lie to say that. It's stupid. It makes you look like the idiot that you are.
Liar,
and nobody except for your brainless following is falling for the fact when you make comments like that. You have to serve the person that you are giving the summons to and that you are suing. That is proper service. It is on you and your attorneys to make sure that the person you are suing is the one that is given the summons. Anything less than that, and you're done. And in this case, I hate to tell you, but you're done. You've admitted to the fact that you sent it to the wrong address. There are countless streams saying such. You say it in so many tweets where you say, the papers went to the old address, an adult signed for it, proper service. Well, that's not how it works in North Carolina, you moron. And you need to understand that the day that this thing is ruled on and that is taken away from you, you're going to look even stupider than you do now because you went with this narrative. In North Carolina, you have to serve the person that you are suing with the summons personally. As much as I love my mother, she cannot accept a summons for me and it be a proper service. I don't know what your attorneys are telling you, or I don't know if this is you going off script and being you, but it's a stupid narrative and it makes you look dumb, and nobody with half a brain is falling for that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and guys, I don't know what's going on in the live chat, but please try to keep it relevant to what we're talking about. It's not a requirement here, but if you are hounding one of the people in the chat, you may get timed out or even kicked. Remember, if you get kicked here, you will be unkicked in 24 hours. Just make sure to let us know that you got kicked and I'll undo it. And I mean for any reason outside of threatening people or TOS. And my God, dude, so good. Because I don't know, man, like I would like him to be able to tell me how the person who is getting the, let's say it's let's use your example, your mother, he served your mother, and how does your mother being served provide you with your right to a trial, a fair trial, or even give you any type of process whatsoever? You could be across the country and just, gone. And if you could even have that being your address and you're gone across the country on a trip. I still don't even think that could be considered proper service. By the time you get back from let's say you work on a boat and they just serve your old address when you're out on the boat, it's still wouldn't. Or what about when I was in Iraq? You're telling me I'm in Iraq and because my old address is in Tennessee or wherever, you're going to say that what? Now I have to give up my business because you managed to get me while I was overseas? Come on, dude. And this is the problem. He doesn't give any explanation.
Let's think about it this way. What if me and my mother weren't talking? Let's say we were estranged or whatever. And or let's say that she, which is, ultimately what happened, she signs for a packet of information, doesn't, there's no indication on the outside of the envelope of what's on the inside of, obviously. So there's just a packet, for me. She throws it up on a counter, doesn't think another thing about it. How is that go to notifying the person that you're suing them? Now, if I lived there, that would be one thing, but there are a couple of things where Steve falls short here. Number one, he admits on 3 different live streams that he sent it to the wrong address. that was the last known address, that he knew that I had moved out and moved in with my boyfriend. He says that clear as day. The clips are out there on 3 different occasions. All right, so there's him admitting that he knew it was an old address. That screws him right off the bat. But let's look at my proof. I have a tax return document. I have my bank statements. I have a lease agreement. I have since my mother was invoked in this, I had her sign an affidavit. There are all of these documents that indicate and show that I was there when I said that I was, and at the time that this was sent to my mother. My mother signed for it. I didn't sign for it. There's no
even
question.
Federal documents. You've got federal documents.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
for God's sakes, it's crazy.
Every level. And so when you admit that I didn't live there, when I can show you that everything in my name was addressed to the location in Charlotte, and when my mother is the one that signed for this summons, not me, you're done.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
Shut, in
and that's
my
the
opinion.
thing. Like, well, I'm glad though for a couple reasons. Oh, let me get this out too. The reason why he did this, Kyle, just so you know those 3 times. You see, people will say, "Why would Steve ever admit he served your wrong address? That's crazy town. He seems like too much of a narcissist to ever do that, or he's too smart or something." Well, in case you didn't know, Steve tried to dox me while he was live on a stream with one of his buddies. And after that happened, he was getting a lot of blowback when people were seeing that clip for being a doxer. And it was right after that happened that he had put out Kyle's address, and his own following, along with other people, were saying, "You just doxed Kyle, just like you tried to dox Uni, you doxer." So it got Steve into that narcissistic manipulation. He felt inclined to constantly tell you that he wasn't doxing Kyle because Kyle had moved, and it ended up coming to bite him in the ass because, I don't think if he wouldn't have gotten busted while he was drunk, almost blackout drunk, sitting there trying to dox me recorded on a stream, I don't think he ever would have admitted that 3 times, even though it is the truth. Still, I'm not saying he was lying about it. I'm saying he pushed himself to do it to try to get out of something that, he was being accused of doing. And because of that, now he didn't realize, he's going to fall into his own trap. You can't serve somebody's old address. And if you're living in a state where it allows you to serve someone's old address like this, you need to move, because the minute you win the lottery, the minute you get a business that takes off, you're going to have somebody serve one of your old addresses and take your stuff from you legally. Anyway, go ahead.
Do you have that clip, Uni, from Nate today where he says that?
Yeah, I'd love to play it. Thank you. I think you shared it into the current light. Yeah. It's in his tweet, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got it right here. Let's grab it. While I'm pulling that up, Darth Chaz says, quote, "The great and powerful UNIRock will prove that I'm victorious." Wait, no. Uni is too stupid to tie his own shoes. And then Gabriel says, "The one whom falls face down will try to meme up."
Boots Mom, after this clip, I will answer that question.
All right. Oh, can you get Uni? Steve saying, yes, that's a great point, Boots Mama. We will. Yes, let's make sure. I'm going to lock the chat on it. Here we go. And Kyle, of course, he won't be able to hear this because we're doing a Discord call, but I'll make sure you've seen this, right, Kyle?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to play it then, and I'll just wait till it's over with. So we got about 33 seconds starting now.
Absolute nonsense. It is pure gamesmanship. We have overwhelming evidence that he was served properly. The address that he was served from, which was a family member's address, which we knew was an old address. I knew that we knew that was an old address, but that's fine. He had no forwarding information on it, and an adult signed for it. In North Carolina, whoever's helping him does not know North Carolina law, I guess, whatever. But in North Carolina, he was properly served because it was sent to a known address and an adult signed for it.
Now, this is with Nate Brody saying, did Steve send the court documents to Kyle's home or an old address? Steve's confession, now he's telling people that he sent it to Kyle's home. Why lie when we have this recording? So when was he saying that he sent it to your home? Obviously, it must have been today or something. I didn't even see this.
And there are 2 more recordings similar to that.
Yeah.
One where he's talking about it's ridiculous to think that he tried to dox me in another video, and says the same thing. But that's right out of the horse's mouth, the silver, gray, greasy horse's mouth.
The silver.
So even if I didn't
mouth.
have all of those documents, which I do, even if I didn't have those, how do you explain that? How do you explain the fact that you knowingly sent it to an old address? You knew that I moved, and yet you're still going to claim that the service was proper. It defies that level of stupidity defies logic for me.
Well, and on top of it, we have to also consider that he's just knowingly manipulating people. And I've been trying to get people to pay more attention. If you are sitting here fighting for him, the reason why you've got 99.9999% of everybody on the internet laughing at you and looking at you like you're crazy is because of everything we've said here. You don't have a stream like this coming from him or any of his buddies. They're just going to get up there and insult the hell out of Kyle. They might even start insulting me or Katie or Nate Brody, and then they're going to sit and talk about how right they are, how wrong everybody else is, and then that's going to be the extent of their streams on this. Boots Mama says, can you get Uni to have Kyle address the fact that Steve is now saying he can have the judge give him a summary judgment after you get the case thrown out for improper service? I think he's lost his mind, Kyle, but yes, he did say that today. So what do you think about it?
Yes. This pin has more intelligence than Steve McRae, I'm afraid. That is the most ridiculous thing that you can say. And I honestly think, Steve, that you're losing your mind. I think that you have absolutely had a nervous breakdown, and now you're saying shit just to hear yourself. No one believes that. Here's the reason why, Steve. The way that the law works is if I get a judgment set aside due to improper service, that means I wasn't served properly. And the first part of a lawsuit, which establishes jurisdiction over me in order for a court to then be able to make decisions over me, there has to be that jurisdiction established. And if I'm not served properly, there's no fucking jurisdiction. Therefore, you can't ask the court for shit. You can apologize to the court for wasting its time up until this point. You can apologize to the court for being an incompetent muppet. But you cannot ask the court for a summary judgment because the court doesn't have jurisdiction over me. You have to then go back and do the simple thing that you were supposed to do in the first place correctly that you failed to do, and that is serve me. And then we can talk about you and your little motions and trying to get your little way to feed your little pathetic ego. Your summary judgment, if I get it set aside due to improper service, get the fuck out of here.
I know, dude. And listen, August just put through a super chat, and it kind of does make, yeah. August says she kind of feels bad. Silverfish's subs are all here instead of watching him talk about men not having cervixes. Is that? Did she just say men not having cervixes? It seems. And Gabriel,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's his. He put on Twitter. I need some controversy subjects so that I can get up and rant. And he went with the cervixes controversy question rather than the controversy of Steve McRae saying that David Earl Warden was an honorable man, the controversy of him supporting Lily Jean when she faked all of her subs, the controversy of him supporting a microwave potato named Defango, the controversy of him lying about improper service, the controversy of the GoFundMes, the controversy of all of the controversies that Steve has under his belt, and he chooses this one. Way to go, Steve.
Oh, Kyle, I love it. I love that you're finally coming back in and knocking the bangers out, dude. I love it. Gabriel, too, says, when Kyle wins, how will the troll army respawn? Now, I've actually talked about this a lot. And Navy says incompetent Muppet for the win. And he also said he loves this stream. I agree, Navy. I'm sorry I didn't read that earlier, but look at me. Bringing it back. Making sure you get it. Yeah. I think basically... this response we've seen from them, going around and attacking. They just attacked Leslie Bass, and they attacked Leslie Bass's husband. And I think one thing that Steve has done is kind of get people like Leslie Bass and Katie and others. Everybody out there seems to be kind of nervous and at each other's throats and all this stuff. You've got even Joe, and whom I've had issues with in the past, but she's trying now. Ruhif. You got all these different people that.
By the way, let me just say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ruhif's going around commenting on like people like Minister Sobriety's video. And talking all of this shit. I've got just one quick thing for Ruhif.
Please.
If his dick was as big as his mouth was, he wouldn't be wasting his time funding that Muppet Steve. He'd be getting laid. So that's all I have to say about Ruhif.
Well, you say Ruhif did. He commented under Menace's video, and what he was saying was the exact same thing that Steve has been saying. I can't really. Can one of the members type it in the chat what Ruhif was? Because I remember basically Steve had a narrative he was pushing about the service. And it was about your filing. So Ruhif and Steve's narrative to respond to your lawyer's filing that everybody agrees is like nobody could have written it better, honestly. 13 references to case law that's already happened. They're saying because these filings because the case law that was referenced in the filing didn't all have the result that Steve is going to have, or that she's mentioning, that somehow she can't mention them in case law. Everybody who's even watched an episode of Law and Order knows that that's not true. When you reference case law, you're referencing it for a specific reason. Cases are huge. They hit all kinds of laws and things. So for them to try to say that unless this case law ends up the way you want it to end up, then you can't use the case law is absurd. And these are the problems, the absurdities that are causing a lot of people to kind of just think that, yeah, they've hit the end of their rope, Kyle, and that's why they're getting this desperate.
Again, I'm going to go with the person who graduated top of her class and was an editor of a law review over the guy that chooses to have a show with a person who says that secondhand smoke isn't a thing. I think that in that instance, my attorney knows a little bit more than that. Goblin Queen.
Gabriel says, you know who knows as much about hacking as ... Ugh. And then Aria says, Kyle, you made me laugh, referencing the controversies. So let's go ahead and knock out the rest of the stuff we've got here, because we're at the 1 hour and 30-minute mark, and this is an awesome live stream. It's just been moving swiftly, and it's doing great. So anyway, did Steve send the court document? Oh, let's pull it up. Did Steve send the court documents to Kyle's home or an old address? Of course. This is Steve admitting it went to an old address. Why lie when we have the recordings? This person says it's sad. He believes his own lie, but he does, and he just doesn't know how to stop. Please stop lying, Steve. Sock account says, in defense of Steve, Reds once said, quote, you can never say that Steve lied because you don't know what's in his mind. The best you can say is that he was mistaken, end quote. Then Reds proceeds to call other people liars. Steve's balls are more addicted than meth. Go ahead.
Listen, Reds is a fucking human kazoo. He makes all of this noise but has no clear purpose for being there. That's the epitome of Reds. He's a fucking kazoo. Who honestly, with a straight face, can say you can't say he's lying because you don't know what's in his head? Of course we know what's in his head. A bunch of fucking nothing. Anybody that makes the comments that he says is either brain dead or is intentionally lying. There is no middle in between, and you can't throw a caveat, because Reds, we could spin that around on your happy little ass.
Yeah.
You can't say that the flat earthers are lying or incorrect because you don't know what's in their head, Reds. Maybe they really do look out and see the ice penguins with their AK-47s guarding the ice wall. You don't know.
Exactly.
Just mistaken.
And that's what sucks, dude. This is the thing that sucks the most, is that, instead of everybody focusing on content, they started to become these massive hypocrites that we see in front of us. And it wouldn't have happened if they would have just did their content and tried their best to work things out and work as a community. And when they focused on splitting these communities, which they've done successfully. They want to split a community and grab all the money. They want all the donos and all the GoFundMes, and they don't want it to be spread out to the greater group. You got to be basically approved, and it's the most shittiest way to run a community. Puck said that nicotine is better than chocolate, though. I'm sure Puck thinks that. I'm sure Puck does. And Celicia says, Kyle's got big boy jokes tonight, and I love it. I do too.
I've got one more. I've got one more.
Hit it.
How can you walk away from a GoFundMe with nearly $20,000 like Sean Huffer did and come away looking like a Sasquatch pissed on a mop and then stuck it on his head? That's sad.
I haven't seen the hair, dude. I won't look, but is it that bad? Is it really bad, dude?
Yeah. Just like Bigfoot pissed on a mop and slapped it on his head.
If I wanted to start shit tonight, I'd pull up a screen. I'd pull up a picture because he would do it to me in a heartbeat. But I'm going to be a better man tonight, Sean. Okay.
Doozy.
So then we've got the same person saying, would I be correct in assuming that the document is from the default judgment? If it is, and Kyle is successful in his attempt to prove improper service and a lack of jurisdiction, then that ruling will no longer be proof, which is why I asked if you were going to provide more proof. Then this is going to knock IQ points out of people's heads. Steve then says you would be incorrect. What has been submitted just doesn't go away. If the default judgment was set aside, we have yet to find any legal reason to do so. So we would probably just ask for a summary judgment. It's even worse than what we said earlier when we mentioned this, because he's saying that even if you prove improper service, that the default's not going to go away. What is he saying? It's crazy.
I would rather go to a Nickelback concert with G-Man than listen to any more of Steve's. Like this is on a level that should be embarrassed. Steve, you should be embarrassed as fuck to in any way want people to take you seriously and say shit like this. Like this is even beneath you. Again, only if you are one of his brain dead sycophants will you believe a word of this. And there will be people that do, and that's just because Steve McRae is the greatest thing that ever walked the earth. But if you have a half of a brain, then you can see straight through this whole ruse of him saying it doesn't just end there. Yes, it does, you complete idiot. It ends there because I was not served. And the first step of hold on.
You're good. Go ahead.
I hate that. I mean, I hate that I have to do this to a 50-year-old man, but it looks like I'm gonna have to do this. All right.
So. What are you pulling out? I wanted you guys to see. I'm smiling from ear to ear tonight. I just wanted to pull that.
Okay, Steve. Steve, I'm going to give you a free law lesson, right? And I'm not even a lawyer, and I don't pretend to be. In the steps of a lawsuit, right? Lawsuit, step number 1 is serve. And as wonderful as my mother is, she doesn't count. And quite frankly, I don't want to have you anywhere near her or anything that involves you around my mother. So until you get step number 1 correctly, there's no even need to go on to step number 2. You haven't done the simple step of number 1 right. And you have to act like an adult and follow the letter of the law, or you don't get what you want, big boy. So when you're able to do number 1, we'll talk about going on to step number 2, which is maybe making a case for your lawsuit. But you haven't even gotten the first requirement done. So shut the fuck up and worry about that more than trying to sound like you know what you're talking about on the internet.
Yeah, bro. Idiot. Yeah, bro. Oh, I love it. And right here, this isn't to do with a lot of this, but I just want to show this because I think it's just stupid. So there's a creator out there named Tipster, and Tipster and I've always shared his videos, and he's shared mine. He watches my show. He's been in my live chat a million times, and I support him fully. His channel blew up about a few months ago. So then something happened on Twitter, And it's menace to sobriety right here. I mean, make sure you guys can see what, so you can find his YouTube and Twitter. You should follow him. Steve talked to Tipster on Twitter, and Twitter immediately suspended Tipster's account for his own brand safety. Dear Tipster, we have temporarily suspended your account to protect it from the practices of Steve McRae, as we noticed that he was trying to insert himself into your brand. Somebody says, Tipster, don't listen to this guy. He's a dumbass. And Steve then comes in to defend himself. Don't worry, bud. Tipster, my toxic fandom is coming out to play. One day, you may have a toxic fandom of your own if you work hard enough. And he's got this late night show host sitting there crossing his fingers. And then, wow, Tipster's account did get suspended. So he's trying to say we just all are just toxic fans that watched him until we just, flipped on him because we want to. He won't give us enough attention, so we're toxic fans, and that we're just, we should just be like swiped away. But the thing is, Tipster's got 80,000 subs. Steve, you are at 12,000 if we don't include the ones
real subs. And Steve, you have almost 18,000 subscribers. Why are you only sitting there with 40 watchers talking about cervixes now? When there are the Rockalot channel steadily gets multiple hundreds. Do you want me to explain that one to you? Because I just happen to have enough.
It's when we're playing video games. I don't think he counts it because we get those 300, 400, 500 viewers when playing video games. So I don't think he counts that. But no, I want to see what you got though.
So this is a very super in-depth analytical equation that has been proven over and over again to be effective. It's kind of hard to follow. So if you don't get it right the first time, and you won't because you've been on YouTube for 12 years and you haven't got it yet. But this is the super secret formula. In order to get views, you must have content.
Oh my goodness, bro. He's going to pop a blood vessel.
You have nothing that resembles content. You bloviate about issues that no one gives a shit about. Definitions of atheism and agnosticism. It's like, Steve, you're in a room and somebody brings you index cards and they say, Steve, write on these index cards every topic that no one gives a shit about. And then tape them on a wall. And then when you have them taped up, throw a dart at one of those words, and whichever one you land on, you do a stream about, and you'll get all the views. Algebra, cervixes, definitions,
cervixes,
kerfuffles.
Oh fuck, dude! I love you, Kyle. I turned the live. Sorry,
it's a
live
travesty.
Chat. Oh my god, I love it, dude. Okay. So look. Now, we have a couple more of these clips that I have to get you to react to. So we're going to do that. We'll knock them out fast. Then we'll go to the live chat. Then we're going to head to Rockalot. Kyle, you're welcome to come. I know I've been having you for a while though tonight, so I get it if you can't. But anyway, let me mute you just to play the last little cartoon I've got. Well, you will get more cartoons, so keep an eye out for them over here on UNIRock too. But we're going to mute now, and we are going to take about 30 seconds here. Let me see how long this little cartoon is. Oh, this one's only 40 seconds long, so here we go. This is your last cartoon of the night for what happened between Busy and Nate's Lamp starting a podcast. Take a look.
Well, I'm going to sue you, and I'm going to take you to court. I am not okay with you taking our channel. We have built this together. We've built this together, and I get to keep the keys to the castle if you want to go, okay? I will sue you if you try to kick me off of this show. I do not approve of this at all. I'm very, very angry. I do not like this. You're not coming over here. You're not going to knock me over. Hey, I said you're not coming over, and you're not going to knock me over.
let's get Kyle back in here and let's do this and finish this out.
Excellent.
All right, we are back. We are back. Now, Kyle, it's been great having you tonight, man. Look, I can't keep saying it. I can't say it enough, man. You seem to really be getting comfortable on the platform again, and it should have never, ever, ever been the other way around. They should have never chased you out of here, and they should have never... They had to have been so scared of you being able to step up and prove them wrong on all this to be able to do what they did to get you off the platform in the first place. And we're just glad to have you back. I just want to make sure you know, man, everybody loves it.
Well, I love being back and doing these. I think you know, it's outside of Steve, there are really good content creators. You know, obviously yourself. You have people like ProLib, Menace to Sobriety, Nate, Drag, Learning with Suge, and if I'm forgetting you, please don't take offense. It's just I don't remember a lot of things, but there's so many creators here in this community that, you know, everybody should be proud. The people who even just watch and are, you know, are viewers are geniuses. You can look at the GoFundMe for examples of that, and the names that they came up with in the comments. I mean, this is a very bright, tight-knit community of people who are just, you know, myself included, who are just tired and fed up with bullshit, and the people that think that they can just get on Twitter or Facebook or their stream and say these things that are absolute bullshit and think that that's gonna fly, or that people are just gonna take them at face value. And what they're slowly starting to understand is that's not the case. That just like I was held accountable when I, at the beginning of this, lied about having that attorney, my feet were held to the fire, as they should have been. You know, I was called out. I had to, you know, I had to admit where I had gone wrong there. And that's what you do as a person. If you're interested in actually being a genuine person and trying to do better, learning from your mistakes and not trying to be a garbage human, you go through life making mistakes, acknowledging when you do, and trying to make it up to the people that you let down. You don't make the mistakes and then double down on the mistakes and then triple down on the mistakes and then look at the people who are telling you that you're making a mistake and call them a troll and block them and hide away with this small group of little peons that just say yes to everything that you say, and that gives you some sort of comfort and that you are big shit on the internet. Well, you're not. And until you're able to come to that level where you can admit where you're wrong and try to do better, you will forever be doomed to be laughed at and not taken seriously, which is the complete antithesis of everything that you try to convey yourself to be.
And there's I agree completely. There's a channel out there called Red's Deleted Streams, and that channel has the deleted streams that have to do with Non Sequitur, that have every one of these observations, like we've heard earlier in the stream, Steve admitting he doesn't have a contract or any type of agreement. They only has what he calls a handshake and can't sue Kyle, which is going to... You know what? Let me go ahead. I'm glad I said that because it leads me to an important question I was saving for the end. Go ahead.
Real quick, Keon. I want to add Keon to that list.
Yeah, please do, because he's been working his ass off. He really has. He's been doing some great edits. Though, let's just say you either get it thrown out, you don't get it thrown out, whatever happens, he refiles, you wind up in court. Okay, him and his peons have come constantly saying that you're going to be in trouble because of whatever the hell, because you wouldn't give the channel to him, which is ridiculous. Just so everybody knows, the reason why that won't happen is because The judge wants to hear Kyle, and the judge wants to give Kyle the ability to defend himself. A default is not what any judge wants, though, according to their narrative, the judge won't care. But when you get up there, regardless, the judge said that the judge wants to hear your side. What is that judge going to do when the judge sees these clips of him admitting he doesn't have anything, that he, did all, like, just thinking about him up there in court, logged in court, a judge hearing someone say, you can't pay me because I have to be able to defraud Medi-Cal. It's like, what happens when a judge hears that stuff? What happens when these clips get played? Isn't he going to have to face a consequence or not?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think the bar for perjury, for a reason is set pretty high, just so that jokes or whatever can't hit that burden. I don't know what his defense would be in those circumstances. We'll have to play it by ear and see if we get to that point. I would imagine that the judge wouldn't be too pleased. I think that in order to be a judge, you have to be pretty bright, and that is the complete opposite of people who follow McRae, who quite frankly should be ordered by the judge to go around apologizing to every tree that they pass for taking the oxygen that tree worked hard to create from the rest of us. But
Yeah.
the judge, I don't think would be too happy about that. You have to be pretty bright to be a judge, and I think that any judge will be able to see through the kind of suit that Steve is bringing forth, the tricks that he's trying to pull, the lies that he's told, the fact that he had a restraining order put against him from another content creator through this, the fact that Steve said he had a private conversation with the judge in a tweet. I don't think that's going to go over very well, because
was he trying to joke? Because for those of you who don't know, what happened was I gave my opinion on Periscope about what happened, and he got so triggered by my opinion and said, how does Uni know the stuff he's saying? He doesn't know anything. He's lying to all of you and blah blah blah. So he's acting like he talked to lawyers. He's acting like he talked to the judge. He's acting like he talked to everybody, and he hasn't talked to anybody. So my memeing ass put out a tweet just to rib him, just to joke at him, that said, I'm just going to come out and say it because of the controversy that I've caused with my opinion. Yes, I talked to the judge. And of course, dude, oh my God, they blew up. Did he just say that as a response to me? Was he trying to copy me? Because he copies everything else I do. So
he could be, but here's the thing. When you are a somewhat of a public figure, and you're the person who's bringing a lawsuit against someone, accusing them of being this horrible person who is defrauding and stealing all of this other stuff, whether you're joking or not, in that context that he put it in, you can't really tell. And he has a responsibility as somebody who is a public figure and the focus of a lawsuit, to not sort of mislead the public. And I don't think a judge will look too kindly on being sort of questioned in that matter, because let's say that Steve was joking, but the people who read
it don't know.
Don't think he's joking.
Yeah.
So now they're questioning the judge, this guy who has worked his entire life to get to that bench, and he's going to throw it away to have a private conversation with some nobody from YouTube in California. Even if that perception isn't correct, even if Steve was joking, that casts the judge in a negative light. And I mean, call me crazy, but I don't think that a judge is going to look too kindly on being brought into the public forum in that manner.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I say it. I got free speech. I don't have anything to do with this shit. I'm just a dude giving my opinion on all this. It does matter, though, if you are him, go on social media, tell everybody that you talked to the judge so that you can get your followers to say, that means that everything Steve is saying is right, because he's been going out to dinner with that judge. Okay, now this clip We've got several more clips. I just want to hit them. You do not know how many people have messaged me or hit me up or whatever.
Uni.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
By the way, I just want to say, just real quick, to cap that off.
Yeah. No, please.
Nobody, again, is stupid enough to believe he actually talked to the judge. So if he meant that, he's even dumber than a kazoo is a level that he needs to strive to be. But no one believes he had a conversation with the judge. Nobody.
Dude, Reds does sound like a damn kazoo. He really sounds like a kazoo. I think you nailed it. I think we should call him Red Kazoo instead of Red's Rhetoric or Kazoo Rhetoric. I don't know. Anyway, though, we've got these clips. Now, you don't know how many people have hit me up since I started playing these clips, sharing these clips, referencing these clips on Periscope. There's a lot of people out there who just want to, they were supporting Steve because they might have heard him say he had a contract. And they just trusted it, believed it, and moved on. They were mad at you because they thought you'd stole this money. They had no clue. So they're seeing these clips, and all of a sudden it's jarring their mind. Like, he said he can't sue him. He said he doesn't have a contract. Reds is saying they need a 50-50, and it's really changing people's minds. So I think that if you are out there and you see people arguing, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but the most powerful thing you can do is go grab timestamps from these videos and put them into Twitter threads, share them, and tag people. But the people who are convinced, I need a pod too, honey. I'm sorry it went out. I was wrong. It's not the battery, it was the pod. But these are the things that will change people's minds because they're not coming from me or Kyle. They're coming from these guys. They've heard these guys say the opposite of what you're hearing for a year to damn him and destroy you. Dude, I hope you sue the hell out of them. I hope you sue Reds while you're at it. You do have a suit that you could win for defamation and all that shit against him. If anybody does, I mean, you do. Here's here's a clip. I'm going to play it and read it to you, but go ahead before I start. You add whatever you want.
I put thanks to old man Dan for this. When you get a chance, you need no rush, but there actually is evidence that will be entered into the court record of the written handshake agreement. It just leaked, and I put it in the current live stream.
Oh God, there's evidence. There's evidence of. Oh my God, there is.
Yeah.
I'm going to show the evidence. But before I show the evidence, I gotta do this really quick. Steve said that he talked to the judge weeks before you did Uni. I thought you were mocking him. No, I wasn't mocking him. I just was reacting to the fact that he was acting crazy like I'd talked to all these people. I was mocking him. I just had no clue that he actually said that he talked to the judge weeks before. That's really fucked up that he said that. I think that will, they say you wait a minute. So why did the Hufflepuffins in his intellect, his superior intellect, why did Hufflepuffins do a stream saying that I had fucked up your whole case because I claimed that I talked to the judge in a tweet? Why did he have that opinion of me when Steve had said it weeks before? That's pretty crazy.
Very simple. Very simple. Because whatever that chemical is that he put on his head has seeped into his brain and made him a complete imbecile.
Oh my God, dude. Well, we've got it. We've got actual evidence of this hand. This is the only evidence that I think that humanity has ever seen of a handshake, 50-50 handshake contract. It is enforceable at court. Kyle, you've lost it all with this evidence.
I know.
I was trying to hold it in. It's so good, dude. There it is. The humanity's first evidence recorded 50-50 handshake internet Google Hangout 50-50 agreement.
I never thought it would get out. Thank you, old man Dan, for leaking it.
Thank you, man. Thank you, old man Dan.
Entire case.
You just handed the case to Steve. It's over. Okay, let's get these clips.
Steve is the best witness. Steve is the best witness that I could ask for. He is the best member of my defense team. I owe if I win this, it will be thanks to Steve McRae. 100%.
And if you lose it, all you got to do is go file an appeal, and it's over. They'll give it right to you. Okay, so here we go. We've got a few more clips from these Hangouts, and these are the important things about tonight. Through all the joking, all the laughing, all the fun, all the silliness, and all of the seriousness, These matter to people. This changes people's minds because it's from them. Here it is. Let me play it. I'm going to let Kyle know what was being said. Here we go.
Weren't able to take it because you were on social security.
Oh man. Okay, this is actually the kill shot from Shannon Q. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it real quick. We're going to watch the kill shot. It's very important. It is on my Twitter at the 1 hour 44 minute 45 seconds. 1:44:45. Here we go.
Everybody else's goddamn business. That's between Steve
I disagree.
and Kyle. What goes? It's everybody's business. Okay.
I think it's everybody's business because Kyle forced it.
Yeah, two.
Kyle's not on this stream. He didn't have a stream. Who's forcing what?
Non sequitur is everybody's channel. One of the reasons it got popular is because and Kyle wanted to relate to a lot of people. I consider them family. I consider the live chat family. I consider the Patreons family. These are people that are my friends. These are people that respect their opinion. We talk to them, right? We have a huge following that like both when I'm on and Kyle on, sometimes just Kyle, sometimes me. You can't please everybody, right? Okay, but we build it to be that way, Shannon.
Yeah. Also, let me just read something from the chat that I think speaks volumes. Maybe Steve McRae would do more for the show if he got paid in all caps. He has to do other channels to make the fucking money. I was a patron to support Kyle and Steve in all caps. So,
Steve, did Kyle give you the opportunity to have money, but you weren't able to take it because you were on Social Security or veterans pension, and it would have affected that? And Kyle didn't. Because you're making it seem as though Kyle withheld money from you.
No, let me make this very clear. I asked, Kyle said he would talk to me how it could be distributed. I asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's talk about how you're going to get it to me. He has never once told me how he's going to get it to me. He's never offered to have a discussion of how he's going to get it to me. I said, Kyle, that's fine. Let's figure out how you're going to get it to me. I thought he was going to bring it to me in October when we have this meeting in October. He could bring cash to me, okay? But he has never asked me about how he says, I told him, he said, how do you want it? I said, well, let's discuss it. I said,
Busy, stop playing a laugh track while we're trying to watch this. I'm sorry, Kyle. This is really important, so I just played it, but it's over. Go ahead.
Don't you just love it when a strong, independent, rational woman,
intelligent woman, yes,
slaps up on Steve McRae and he goes into his it happened a couple of months ago too with a certain non-disclosure agreement. So
yes. Yeah, no, very much. Thank you, Kirsten, for joining. And we got one more. You two have been on point and Kyle's on fire. Thanks, old man Dan. We just appreciate you guys. This clip.
You are.
No, you are. Exactly. Yes, Dan. This is the thing. This clip goes to show that you didn't steal from this man. It proves it. And this is why Katie Joy told everybody. If Katie Joy wants to watch, it's like he can't stand a woman holding an opinion. If her opinion is that you made her uncomfortable, she's going to tell people. She's married. You shouldn't have said it. And if it's her opinion after hearing you say this garbage to people behind the scenes, and look, you want to go do this to Medi-Cal, it's your life. You do it. Don't talk about it on YouTube, and who gives a shit? But the point is, you don't get to go and then tell Katie Joy that because she told people you made her uncomfortable, and then because she told people that you did this, just because you're mad about how she defines what you did, which is crazy considering he argues for definitions constantly, you should allow her to define it how she wants, and he didn't. And then he got an RO after a year of harassing her, and it's important.
And newsflash, Steve, that's what makes you a sleazy human being. Most people with any sort of character or the ethics that you claim that you have would say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I won't do it again. Those 3 sentences would have saved you a year of wasting your time becoming more irrelevant than you were when you started, because that's the point of which you come. I mean, was it worth it? The fact that you couldn't just say, hey, maybe I made somebody feel uncomfortable unintentionally. Apologize for it, because that's what decent fucking people do. But you didn't, because you're not a decent person. You're a slime ball, and karma is bitch slapping you around from one corner of YouTube to the other. And that's what you get when you act that way, and you put your feelings and way that you feel about things before other people and how it might make them feel uncomfortable. It's disgraceful.
And I agree with you. Also, I know that people will say, why talk about this again now? Because it matters. Because they still they've been doing this to you for over a year. They did this to Katie for an entire year. They've been doing it to me since December, but it doesn't matter anyway. I think all they're doing is actually helping my channel anyway. I've been gaining subs every time they yell about me. But anyway, the point is they don't stop. This has been a continual thing. So you responding and updating people seeing this finally is it's really changing minds. I'm just if they want to respond, when are they going to pull this up and respond to the clips, do you think, Kyle? Never, right?
Well, respond to one thing for me, bunch of geniuses. If there was a conversation that was had between myself and Steve, okay, I don't know many things, okay. I often will quote one of the first comments that I got when I came in on YouTube, and that is, Kyle, you are a uncultured hick. In a lot of ways, I am. I've never claimed to be the most intelligent person, but I have sort of a base understanding of the way that the world works, and I have a lot of common sense. And part of that common sense is I have flown on a plane before. And part of that means I have gone through TSA before. And so in what world would somebody who has been on a plane say, oh, Steve, yeah, your money? Sure, yeah. I'm coming to California in a couple of months. Oh, fuck it. I'll just stick $30,000 in a suitcase. TSA won't ask any questions. That won't be shady at all. They'll just wave me right on through. Why would I agree to bring you cash to a conference that we were having? It's what it is. The truth of the matter is, it's a lie you made up on the spot. Shannon called you out. You were taken back by that. You didn't know how to handle that. You didn't know how to respond. And so your big Muppet brain started going a little bit faster than you could keep up with, and you regurgitated things that weren't true. And now that's coming back to bite you, because nobody will carry thousands of dollars in a duffel bag and fly across the country.
And he says you owe him 80,000. Sometimes it's 60, sometimes it's 30.
Yeah,
and also
depends on how pissed off he is.
Yeah,
the more pissed off he is that day, the higher. You know what, Steve? Let's say that it's 600,000. No matter the number, you owe me $750,000.
You're right.
Based on the new calculations with Fuzzrana and the reasons to believe. I charge now $3,000 per episode. That's 581
fair
episodes.
Market
That's
rate.
$1.6 million. So give me my $750,000, bitch.
Yeah, because look, hey, you're just comparing it to his new show that he said costs $6,000 an episode or $3,000 an episode. Definitely. But the part, him stuttering like this and him getting so slapped sideways by Shannon, I think it just goes to show that he does have an issue. He does have a little bit of an issue when it comes to a very, a woman that he's attracted to coming at him and calling him on his shit, and she just outed him right there. That's what that was. This makes sense why this got deleted off Red's channel. It makes sense why.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion.
It makes him look stupid. By the way, Old Man Dan is in the chat. I shouted you out a little bit ago, Dan, but that was him that uncovered the
he found it. He's added to the mythology of this situation. I don't know if we have any other clips. I've got like a bunch more. I think I'll just try one more because we've been on for a while. I don't want anyone to get bored of what we're doing. So this will be the last one.
I think we
covered it. Heard it. Yeah, this might
do one more.
Be a repeat. This will be it.
Talk everyone.
I'm gonna also go over some finances, because here's the thing.
Oh my God, you're gonna be pissed. You're gonna be pissed about this one. Hold up. I think I know what this is. Let's hear it.
Steve made the claim that I know more about it than
I'm
than
going.
he does.
Goodbye.
Bye, Shannon.
Good night, Shannon.
Now, part of that is actually true.
Okay, Steve made the claim that Reds knows more about the financials than Steve's does. Red says part of that is true. Now let's hear what Red says real quick. Yeah, listen. Oh yeah, this is gonna make Red's rhetoric leak soy for at least a week.
Part of that is actually true. I do know more about the finances than Steve does.
Part of that is true. I do know more about the finances than Steve does. He continues.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and reveal something, but
he says, I'm going to go ahead and reveal something.
But I have done the math.
Can't wait.
He says, but I have done the math.
Bullinator is getting paid a certain amount.
Bullinator is getting paid a certain amount for internet access. Okay. Anyway, I would continue playing it, but I won't right now. You'll see all these clips in the timeline that they happened in my video, The Truth of Non Sequitur, the finale, which is going to be one of the most like highly edited, like put together videos. If you saw my documentaries on the Katie Joy harassment, it's going to be just like that. This is Reds in my now with all these clips. Why does anybody sit here and talk like he's talking? And if you could hear the tone of his voice, he's talking like he is just the biggest dude on. He's the internet tough guy of the century, saying that he's seen the financials. He's calculated the financials and just goes on a tirade about this. Proves he saw that money and wanted to get a little chunk of it. Kyle, is what it is.
Let's dispel the internet tough guy thing really quick. This is a guy who hides behind his camera and talking to people who literally think that the earth is flat. Okay, that doesn't take the sharpest tool in the shed to do that. There are people who are 4 and 5 that can go around and tell you why the earth is round. It's fun to watch, but it doesn't make you a genius. What makes him an internet tough guy? He yells. He doesn't exactly yell. He screams like a little bitch, but it comes across as yelling. The truth about Red's rhetoric is that he is the human embodiment of one of those eye floaters that you get in your eye. They're irrelevant. They're fucking annoying. That sums you up, Reds. You're nothing but a YouTube eye floater.
Yeah, I have kind of had people criticizing Reds a lot lately because I think Red slid by because he was always flipping out and screaming at people and calling them names and everything. But then 2, every time somebody got mad at Reds or Steve, they'd get doxxed and harassed. So I think a lot of people just chilled off of it. But now that their empire's fallen, he's getting the criticism. And people are starting to say, if I go watch Simon Dan, I see comedy, I see intelligence, I learn something and I'm entertained. Katz is the same way. You can list all these creators. They go and tune into a Reds debate or stream. He's just sitting there insulting them for an entire hour. And I think it is a good point. Whether or not you like that, that's fine. You can watch that. I just don't know how it is anything
but
more
he
than
loves
bullying.
Burger King.
He loves Burger King.
Burger King.
One day we'll have to talk about that story sometime. Kyle, thanks for coming by. We'll save the Burger King thing for later. We don't want to get him too mad. He'll try to, he's already tried to.
Oh
dox me 9 times.
I was just gonna say. I've said it multiple occasions. I won't do it on your stream, out of respect for you. But I've addressed the Burger King thing. Just go back and look far enough, and you'll see. Anyway, it just paints Reds as a despicable human being who has a not so good outlook on particular people, and it's a horrible story. But it just goes to show why he's a shit person. But that's all that needs to be said.
Can you just do me a favor? Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Look, just without revealing any personal information about Reds, if you'd like, I'd like to hear the story of Soy Burger King because. Reds did a stream saying that I lost all my credibility just because I criticized Steve McRae. So I don't know. I mean, if it would actually, I think I'm ready to hear the Soy Burger King reveal.
Okay. So I got a call one night. It was like 2:00 in the morning from Reds, and he was you could tell he was panicked, and he said, I need some advice. I don't know what to do. There's a little bit of a situation going on. I don't know what's going to happen here. Basically, with him and his old roommate and another third person, he was thinking that if he told one person one thing, it was getting out somehow. He had a leak somewhere. Somebody was telling things that he was telling either one of these people. And what he says that he did was to find out where that leak came from. He devised this story of him being at a Burger King parking lot. An an African American gentleman stepping up to him and him flashing his gun and calling him the N-word. Now, this is the story that he tells, and two things happen here. I don't know if that's a true story. He's trying to paint as something that didn't happen.
It's a true story.
Well, either way, even if he made up the story, he still made it up to the level of using that word in the story. Right now, he says that he needed to make it as crazy sounding as possible to find out where that leak was coming from. This was his way of sort of telling where it was getting passed, because if he told these two people this story and somebody else knew about it, he knew where it was coming from. There's a lot of stories, crazy stories that you can make up, I think, that don't involve evoking that particular word, whether the story's true or not. And so I think that goes to speak a lot of the type of person that and Mr. Rhetoric is. Now, if you go back to his original name, Redline, we all know what redlining is.
Yes.
Coincidence?
See, yeah, it's no coincidence. So here's the true story of red line or red rhetoric. Redlining is a racist term that was used that had to do with buying homes in a long time ago. You'd have to look it up on Wikipedia. Though he had his original channel named that, and yeah, but this is what I was told. He did this. He went to a Burger King. He wanted to look all tough, pulled out a gun, screamed the N-word over and over and over again, yelling at a guy, of course, an African-American gentleman. And of course, he wanted to get ahead of it. So he went and called everybody he knew and flipped out telling them, hey, I'm going to make up this story because the people who knew about it, you know, he knew it would get around, and he was trying to me, it's just a way of saying it makes perfect sense. It's what he does for all of his friends. He does these propagandistic, weird lies. Nobody would ever make up that story about themselves and spread it around purposely. It's just insanity.
He uploaded an apology video to my channel because, see, it got back to him that there was a certain there was somebody else that was going to leak that story. And he wanted to be ahead of it. So there was actually an apology video that was uploaded to the Non Sequitur Show channel to hold in case that happened.
Do we have it, Kyle?
Now,
I need this video, Kyle.
Okay. I don't because whether it wasn't me, but whether it was Bull or Steve or somebody, the next day the video was removed. But it was there. I talked to him after that for, you know, a good while about the situation, you know, just how do you handle something like that? But yeah, that's the type of person that,
so let me get this straight. It didn't happen, but he uploaded an apology video that was ready to go as soon as he heard that it got out to the subscribers, you know?
Well, yeah, because I think even if it didn't happen, have to apologize for being so shitty that the crazy story that you come up with, of all the things that you could choose to happen in that crazy, like I could say I met a pink unicorn that had dildos instead of a horn, and it told me, you know, where Steve's database of evidence was. Yeah, that story is crazy, and I didn't invoke any racial slurs. You see how that works? I had a crazy story. I didn't disparage a group of people.
Yeah, and but also, like I said, this is the thing. Like, it's not about just getting up there. Look, I'm sorry this happened. Deal with it. I'm moving on. I don't feel that way. I'm not that way. And whatever. That's not what we see from this group. It is Steve, Bull, and Reds willing to spread lies in order to cover someone's ass if it helps them keep the money that they're making or the image that they have, what it is. And yes, this is why they slander you. It's why they slander me. It's why they go around and they can't pull clips. They can't break down clips. They can't, you know, actually debate. Instead, it's this mess in the community. And once people stop not supporting them, support who you want. But once you stop supporting that behavior, that will not incentivize them to keep doing it, in my opinion. But that's just my crazy, dumb as a rock opinion.
I'll say this in closing. I am not perfect by any means. I have many flaws, and I'm aware of them. But I am not someone who makes racist comments. I do not have Sasquatch piss-colored hair and am a hypocrite because I take money from GoFundMe's. I do not show people financials that have nothing to do with the case. I don't apologize for R. I'm not a microwaved potato who believes that the government is involved in a conspiracy. I don't think that secondhand smoke is not harmful. I did not fake my following on Instagram, and I did not lie about a contract that didn't exist on a channel. Even though I would love to do that, to maybe somebody like Keemstar. We had a 50-50,
We had a 50-50, dude. I'm taking you to court.
I'm sending the paperwork to your
old address.
To your mom's house.
Yeah. Now make sure you don't get the
I
paperwork.
am not those things, but I do have my faults. And you gotta take the good with the bad, I guess.
Well, thanks, Kyle. I appreciate you, man. And the day that this is all over, I hope there's a party, like some kind of thing on non-sec, or at least somewhere. I don't know where, but just I hope that everybody gets together and we see a reunion. Of course, without those others.
I will promise you this: if the case goes my way, we will absolutely have the farewell that we didn't get to have before on the non-sequitur show, and everybody that was involved in the case that wants to come be a part can come. We'll do a dramatic reading of the final briefs that were put forth, and then the judgment that was taken, and then we'll look back at some of our most favorite non-sequitur show events. But we will have the farewell that we never got to have. I promise that. At least
that's a mature way to handle non-sec, because Steve has promised that if he gets it, he's going to use it to expose Katie Joy Paulson. So we need you to come out on top, bro. We need you to.
Not anymore.
That's That's true. He's got an agreement. He can't say her name without getting turned into an
Straining order. Straining order.
Smack that shit. All right, Kyle. Thanks, dude. We'll have you anytime, buddy. All right, buddy. See you next time. Okay, that was the infamous Kyle Curtis of non-sequitur. That's what I call him. I call him the infamous Kyle Curtis of non-sequitur fame. Let me close this out and talk to you guys, because I've missed all of you very much, because I've been uploading, and hopefully you'll check out listen, ring the bell on UNIRock too, because if you like my live streams, if you like stopping by, I think my videos will entertain you. And I know a lot of you guys watch my live streams, and that's why YouTube recommends them. But I have never regularly uploaded here. I've always sporadically uploaded, and they get views over a long period of time. So if you do want to watch my uploads, you're going to have to click them and get the algorithm liking, you get the algorithm knowing that you want to watch the uploads. Because it's almost like I'm starting from scratch since I didn't upload here for so long. This was my live channel. My main channel was the uploads, and I don't upload there anymore thanks to demonetization and all that garbage. So anyway, I think you'll like my uploads if you want to check them out. Though, let's talk about everything that just happened. Let me give you my final piece, and let's move over to the Rockalot and have we're going to have an after show. God, it's almost 1 a.m. Damn it. I don't know if I can have an after show now. It's 1 a.m. I don't know if I'll do it. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Oh, God. Busy. I don't have a contract with you. You don't have a contract with Nate's Lamp. And I'm not obligated to stream on the Rockalot. Where did you get it? I didn't sign that. Okay, I'm going to stream there tonight, but after that stream, I want to know where you got that contract, Busy. I want to know where it came from. Did you know that I play the guitar better than Jimi Hendrix? I can play the guitar better than Jimi Hendrix. Oh, you want to see a challenge from me? Do you want to see me play the guitar better than Jimi Hendrix? Challenge accepted. I'll upload a video of me playing the guitar soon, and I'll show you whether you'll think I'm better than Jimi Hendrix or not. You can make up your mind. All right. I just want to thank Kyle for coming because, yeah, I think it takes a good person to be able to forgive all of us like Kyle did. You know, we were really against him in the beginning, but I think that it shows that he is a good guy because he can take what we kind of like all of us ganging up on him, and he can look back on it and now see that now that, you know, the test was kind of passed here. It's like Kyle saw that we were going at him, and I don't know if he ever had faith that we would dig up the evidence or if he just thought it would always be that way. But I'm glad that we could come through and just show you guys the truth of non sequitur. The truth of non sequitur is not spoken by me, and it's not spoken by Kyle Curtis. I proved it to you in the beginning of this stream. I will prove it to you in my final upload, The Truth of Non Sequitur, the finale, where I put those clips in chronological order of them lying and of them saying the opposite of what their narrative is, of them telling you things like they have a contract, but they don't have a contract and could never sue Kyle. They need a 50-50, and they need Kyle to put it on paper and sign it, but they have a 50-50, and that's why you should hate Kyle Curtis. Or how about any of the other hundreds of lies that have been told to incite you, to manipulate you, to use you and me and any other content creator out there that has an influence to get us to act in a way that we normally never would. It's an extreme situation to hear about a man stealing a YouTube channel from another man and taking all of his money and depriving him of all these things that we were led to believe that he was deprived of. I think one of the craziest images of this whole story, you got a guy wearing one lens and duct tape on his stuff when he had enough money, as I have shown in these clips, he had enough money to fly women to meet him and take them on trips, but still wore a lensless pair of glasses and duct tape on the headphones. There's a reason for all of it, and now you know why. And the truth of non sequitur are in their clips. It's the only way. That way you don't listen to me or Kyle. You don't have to listen to anyone but the people that convinced you to fight for them in the first place. And now the right thing has happened. I know you know. I know it's redundant to an extent. What do you expect him to do? Kyle hasn't had his chance to talk on this. Do you really expect Kyle just to sit there and not say anything? Do you really expect Kyle just to be like, you know, now that, you know, like Kyle's been getting like Twitter assaulted all week long for 2 weeks leading up to this. He's been told that he's a liar, he's a skeezer, he's all these things. And, you know, in reality, the guy's willing to go sit down and talk to people, explain himself, to cop to any mistake he makes. Why do we sit here and try to pound people down that are willing to do that? I get making sure that they come out and address the issue, but it just seems so fucked. So really, this all ends, I think, when this lawsuit gets thrown out. And you're going to say they're going to refile it. But who cares? Who cares what happens? As long as it's thrown out now, it goes to show us what we need to know, which is those celebration clips. Kyle can never fix it. Non-sec is now ours. You get to go tell Kyle that he doesn't own the show and that someone else does. And I keep asking myself, yeah, if Kyle and Steve, you know, never had a 50-50, how fucking fucked up was it to see this all go down and people just fight against him? It's just crazy. Anyway, I'm going to the Rockalot. Thank you for watching. Oh, I'm sorry we didn't get to answer chat questions. We end up talking too long every time. We're past the 2-hour mark, so this thing's going to have to process before the beginning is even shown. I was trying to avoid that, so I need to get out of here. Thank you to my co-host, Busy, for running the soundboard. You didn't do anything, bro. You didn't do... I had to change the songs. You know what? I'm going to handle you in the after show. But to all of you that donated, let me just make sure really quick to go through it, make sure I didn't miss any. I don't think I did. Adorable Snowflakes did something a few minutes ago. If I missed it, let me know, Adorable Snowflake. Wait. Okay, you sent a sticker. Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much. And Kirsten, Old Man Dan, Adorable Snowflake, Gabriel, Learning with Suge, August, Finn, end the stream soon before little bread falls asleep again. Oh my God, I missed that one. Damn it, I wish I wouldn't have missed it. Finn, I owe you. Make sure you remind me in the next few streams you get free super chat shout outs. You just got to let me know. You type it into current live stream room while I'm streaming, and I'll shout out whatever you want to say throughout the next few streams since I missed it. Celicia, Area, Navy, Darth Chaz, and Trio, Rose, Cassari, not sorry. I appreciate you. Katie Joy Paulson, Without a Crystal Ball. Thanks. Lisa, Globus, Therese, Strawberry, Johnny, freaking Supertramp, my man. Girl Frog, Jules, and Strawberry Harpy. Thank you for supporting my show. I try to I stream a lot. I know it's not here on UNIRock too because I want to grow the channel. So we're only going to be bringing these prepared streams here. We will keep on making sure we pump them out for you and do member-only live streams for the members because you guys make it possible. And if you want to chat, I know the chat's been locked, so come over to the Rockalot YouTube channel. The link's been being shared. It's Rockalot. It's pretty easy to find. It's a parking lot on YouTube where you can come hang out with us. Ask me whatever you want. If Kyle might even jump in there. I don't know. He might not. Either way, I'm UNIRock. Thanks for watching. You know, I should have had this all prepared, this ending, but I didn't. I didn't have anything prepared. You know what I'm going to do to get out of here? I'm going to play this, and then I'm out. UNIRock out. Thanks, guys.
Hi, friends. Thanks for coming to our stream where we're going to discuss whether Kyle should have to pay his old co-host any money. On one side, we have ProLip and Nate the lawyer.
On the other side, we have UNIRock and Kyle Curtis.
Make sure you subscribe to Progressive Liberal on YouTube. It's the channel you're watching right now.
Also, subscribe to Nate the lawyer. Link shared in the chat and description.
Don't forget UNIRock 2 and Rockalot on YouTube.
And NonSec 2. Regardless of your opinion, we're happy you're here. So sit back and enjoy.
As for adults, talk without yelling and calling names.
Even though they disagree.
Hey, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
We both did awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Want to start a podcast together?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay, let's go.
With Nate the lawyer. And ProLib. The infamous Kyle Curtis of non-sequitur fame. And your stream master general of the evening, UNIRocktv. With special appearances from Busy and Nate's Lamp. This is adults debating opinions they disagree with without yelling and screaming and calling names.